All right, folks, welcome back. This is Guardians of Democracy. I'm Dylan Brooks, here with Captain Franson Tim, diving into what keeps the Aegis Guardian initiative ticking. And I guess, honestly, the big thing that stands out right from the start is, we're not some secret paramilitary group in the shadows, right? We're open about what we do, and we don't buy into that whole ends justify the means attitude. Our mission is transparent, legal. Heck, it's almost annoyingly above board sometimes, if you ask me. It's all about defending democracy and the rule of law, but not picking sides or pushing some party agenda.
Indeed, Dylan. You put it rather well. For me, it all comes down to this fundamental belief. Tyranny, real tyranny, doesn't announce itself with a bang. It creeps in, quietly. Incremental assaults on elections, courts, and journalists, bit by bit. First, you see a smear campaign against reporters. Next, it's delegitimizing a judge after an inconvenient ruling. Where was I going with this? Ah, yes, the threat crosses borders. It's truly a pattern you spot from Afghanistan to, well, Europe or even America these days.
Yeah. Man, take the US. Just in the last couple years, you've got folks trying to chip away at election credibility, whispering about rigged ballots before a single vote's even cast. You see it in Europe, too. Governments twisting rules, pressuring courts, demonizing the media. It's like the same script gets dusted off, no matter which country. And, Captain, your stories about protecting those ballot boxes in Afghanistan, those always hit home. Makes it clear that nobody's immune to these threats.
I appreciate that, Dylan. That night, after we'd secured an election site, I remember stacks of ballots, nervous officials, and the sickly glow of Marshall amps powering radios from the 1980s. Everyone's nerves on a wire. Local warlords had threatened reprisals if certain votes came in. We weren't there to take sides, only to ensure the process itself survived the night. That's it. The real enemy isn't one political faction. It's the idea that force or fear can cancel out the people's will. And I suppose that's what Aegis stands against, everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Tyranny feeds on apathy, or when good people look away. That's why the first, last, and only rule for Aegis Guardian is resistance. Legal, disciplined, no shortcuts, no violence, but absolutely no silence either. Alright, so with that foundation, let's dig into how we actually work. How do you stand against that slow creep of authoritarianism, day to day?
You see, there are very specific pillars to what we do. Job 1. Protect civilians. When threats arise, intimidation, disinformation, outright force, it's not about heroic firefights or chasing glory. It's about documentation, coordination, and ensuring humanitarian groups and legal aid can operate. We build corridors where doctors can get through, secure warehouses so evidence can't be conveniently lost or tampered with.
Yeah, and to be clear, this isn't about being judge, jury, and you-know-what. We're not out punishing anyone. We're making sure every scrap of evidence is locked down, traceable, totally legal. The chain of custody's got to be clean enough for any international court to follow. No vigilantes, no cowboy stuff. I guess that sounds kinda unglamorous sometimes, but when governments, or whoever, want to erase or rewrite what's happened, that evidence is the last barricade.
Quite right, quite right. There's a discipline to it. Frankly, it's not unlike the tedious hours I spent cataloguing shell fragments in Ukraine. Easy to let frustration or adrenaline dictate your next move when you're under fire or chaos is everywhere. But evidence wins wars that bullets never could. A blurry photo, a signed statement, logged at the precise hour. You'd be amazed how that stands up when tyrants try to whitewash everything later.
And sometimes we're literally just standing guard, defensive. Weapons aren't about offense. They're there so people can get to hospitals, or so a volunteer lawyer can make it to a courthouse. We don't provoke folks or turn into a militia. People picture us running around with flags, but mostly it's showing up, making the paperwork bulletproof, which, when I say it out loud, makes it sound, almost boring, right? But boring is exactly how you keep things safe for civilians, journalists, anybody caught in the crossfire.
Boring can be a virtue, Dylan, especially when chaos is the alternative. The real challenge always is sticking to legality over impulse. I've seen how a single undisciplined action can hand enemies propaganda for months. So our people train in de-escalation, evidence collection, lots of radio checks, not much swagger, thank heavens. The point is, every time we act, it's about strengthening the legal process. So accountability isn't just a slogan, it's inevitable, eventually.
And man, that eventually part takes patience, right? Like, justice never moves at movie hero speed. That's something I gotta remind myself, probably twice a week.
It does, yes. But as I always remind young recruits, the slow machinery of law is what gives us real, lasting power. Hold your ground with discipline, and in time, even tyrants run out of places to hide.
So let's talk about what makes Aegis Guardian totally different from, well, almost everyone else out there. Discipline, independence, and just staying out in the open. Our doctrine is crystal clear. No escalation, no provocation. We never try to be the government or big dog the military. That's not just philosophical, it keeps us on the moral high ground if, or when, stuff goes sideways. And, no surprise, we get a lot of attempts to drag us into politics. People call us up wanting backup, if you know what I mean. I had a guy once, some party operative, offering cash for our team to be the strong arm at his rally. Like, no thanks. That ruins everything we stand for.
Precisely. The only way to speak the truth, truly, is to stand alone. We cooperate with lawful authorities as needed, but never, ever surrender our core independence. That's what makes our evidence credible. It's what lets us resist pressure from every quarter, state, private, or partisan. Our independence is our shield. And I'll remind friends again, many of the worst atrocities I've witnessed began not with open violence, but the quiet substitution of loyalty for law, party for principle.
Yeah, and if you lose that independence, you become just another tool for someone else's game. Doesn't matter how noble your cause started. I mean, Captain, you know how fast even good intentions can get hijacked. But by insisting we're always visible, always accountable, we let everybody see we're not out here for drama. We're there to say, we see you, we're recording, and we'll be here long after the cameras go home.
Visibility, discipline, and autonomy. 3 legs of the same stool, really. We reject the idea that lawfulness is weakness, quite the contrary. The restraint we show is strategic, not passive. The more open and clear we are, the less cover our adversaries have for their misdeeds. Tyranny thrives in darkness, but with enough light, it recoils. In that sense, our best weapon has always been patient, public perseverance, not bravado.
Man, it's funny. People ask why we don't just get tough, whatever that means. But the real toughness is just showing up, again and again, doing it by the book. Captain, anything you want to leave listeners with before we wrap up?
I'd simply say, history doesn't care if we're comfortable. It asks whether we held the line. At Aegis Guardian, that line is legality, visibility, and independence. Nothing more, nothing less. And we're not going anywhere.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Guardians of Democracy. Captain, always a pleasure talking shop with you.
Likewise, Dylan. Until next time, then.
Take care, folks. We'll see you next time. Keep standing firm.